Welcome to Cocial Convos. I'm here with Bobbie Rachford today. Super excited. We just recently launched this podcast, Cocial Convos, where we're just excited to connect with people in the community, people in the suburbs and surrounding Arlington Heights. And today we get to connect with Bobbie, who is a member of Cocial, which has been so awesome. He's been a member for over a year now. And we have tons of awesome conversations around the island in Cocial with all the members and stuff like that too. And I think one of those has led to kind of getting this thing actually, off the ground. And Bobbie's been a great member here. And I think that everybody in this community here at Cocial just really supports each other and lifts each other up. So the goal is to hit go on this Cocial Convos. And, as I mentioned, I think you probably see in a previous post is we're excited to also have Cocial Convos series. And this is going to be our first series, which we're super excited to launch. With the help of Bobbie called A Better Tomorrow. And we'll get more into that with the details of that. But, that's a little bit about Cocial and Cocial Convos. But I want to just kind of move it over to Bobbie for a little bit about what he does, his experience here at Cocial, and then we'll get into kind of what A Better Tomorrow is all about.
Awesome. Sincerely, not only thank you for having me on the initial Cocial Convos podcast, but also thank you for building the community that you have here. I'm an entrepreneur and I worked from home for a long time. And kind of over time, you start to just, when you work at home, you don't really have that sounding board to bounce ideas off of. You don't have that community to feel like you're part of something. You kind of just get lost in your own headspace. And so I reached out, found Cocial, and I've been a member for almost coming up on a year now.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine ever going back. It's been such a huge help. Not only just for my own mental well-being, but also for my business. I've met several other people here who have contributed now to my business and who have helped me think of things in a different light and just have really supported. But today, what I really want to focus on and what I'm really excited to talk about is that sense of community. Because initially when I reached out to Cocial, I was really just looking for a working space. And what I found was much more. It was a social community where people hang out in the cafeteria and the kitchen. We hang out after work. And we really, what I have found is, as an entrepreneur and as a father of very small children, it's very difficult to make new friends, make new social connections.
For sure.
And not only have I done that now with you, but with several of the other community members here. And it's made a world of difference in my own mental happiness, in my own life. And so I want to kind of speak about that here today, talk about what we're doing with the initial topic of Better Tomorrow and what that means. And really what I'm hoping is that I can shed some light on the benefit of having what's known as a third space, right? You have your family life, you have your work life, and then people need that third space. And I think what we've seen over the past couple of years, especially starting with the pandemic, and now that trend's continued, is the removal of this third space and this removal of this sense of community. And we've seen the rise of loneliness and things like this.
For sure.
And I feel like you've done a great job of giving me specifically a tool to combat that. And I know you're doing that for others as well. So again, a sincere thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And I'd love for you to kind of give us your background. Where do you come from? How did you come up with Cocial? I'd love to learn more about that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, thank you. And it's, when you design co-working spaces, they always say, try to find your ideal member, right? And build it off your ideal member. And Bobbie is one of those ideal members, right? He's a parent. He is an entrepreneur. He cares about people. He's a member of the community. He's building things and he's just, he's living life to the fullest. Right. And I think in those times, we need support from each other, outside of our spouses, outside of our kids, outside of the neighbors and stuff like that. We need a place to, I love what you said about a third space. Like we need that space where we can escape. Bobbie was, one of many members that was working from home. And, a lot of members in here have great home offices even and stuff like that. But you can have the best home office in the world, but what you don't have is other people doing other things different from you. I mean, we've got a wide variety of members in here, which is so fun to sit around and talk about everybody's business because Bobbie, for example, has a brain I don't have. And he'll get into some of what he does. His business is better BioStatistics. I can only barely say that. And he goes down these rabbit holes of spreadsheets and stuff like that too. So he's very analytical. which is super exciting about what we're going to talk about with A Better Tomorrow. And so we have a fun back and forth because it's kind of like taking some of the analytics and the trends and the research and putting it into some of today's topics. And then when you kind of combine those two, I'm a kind of a guy that wears my heart on the sleeve, and I'm just like, all right, let's go. Let's just see what happens. Let's figure it out as we go. And then Bobbie kind of puts that all into kind of a nice, good roadmap and stuff. It's a great combo. So super excited to kind of get this Better Tomorrow series started. As far as Cocial goes, my wife and I, we were living in California at the time. We had 3 kids. She was starting her own private practice. She's a therapist, Meg. And when she was starting her private practice, it was like no clients, getting rent, starting a business. I'm like, there's no options for just hourly. Hey, I have a client. Hey, let me get an office. Let me fulfill that client. Let me move on. Yeah. The only option was to sign a long-term lease. That's a big risk if you're not sure where you want to go with your business, right? So then I came across co-working, and we started a small version of Cocial out there in the Bay Area. And then when pandemic hit, that lease expired, perfect timing. Decided to move back home. We're from around here. And then this second go around was we wanted to build more of a space for community, for events, not just offices and conference rooms, right? Which those are great because I love what people do, because people do so many different things than I even think of to do. So it's fun to kind of see people's career paths. And then in this particular location, we have event space where we also get to share in people's personal joys of baby showers and wedding showers and birthday parties and celebrations of life and all that good stuff too. So the goal for me is I love creating experiences for people and, kind of bringing people together. I think like you just hit nail on the head in the fact that like, I think we all could just live our lives heads down and never come up for air. And then in 10 years, we look back and we're like, I am depressed, I'm overweight, I'm unhealthy, I'm whatever you want to insert there. And I think if we really pull back and if we really take the time and to slow down and have meaningful connections, that brings me so much joy. And I think then we'll all be better parents, we'll all be better entrepreneurs, we'll all be better employees. We've got a bunch of folks in here who work for big corporations, and they love working remote, but they don't want to be in their house anymore. So we can go deeper on that whole topic too and stuff, but it's fun. It's fun to meet people, and it's fun to create experiences for folks, and it's fun to hear that it's working and paying off for folks in a great way.
Oh, it's working awesome. And to highlight the event space, because I didn't speak about that, but it's crazy how many events you guys hold, and it is from all walks of life. Uh-huh. I've seen baby showers, I've seen 50th birthday parties, I've seen retirement parties here, and the Christmas party you always throw is a great time. But really what you're doing with Cocial is, I think, fundamentally needed. I think that there's just this American culture of efficiency, productivity, get online, get to work, and it's so easy to just be sucked into our phones these days.
Yeah, for sure.
For a multitude of reasons, that when we actually come up for air and pick our heads up and say, hey, what else is out there? Cocial is a great place, for me at least, to start doing that. And I know a lot of the other community members here feel the same. So again, sincerely, a big thank you.
Yeah, glad to have you, man. It's fun. Awesome. Super fun.
A little bit about myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
And then I think that kind of goes into what we're trying to do Better Tomorrow.
Great segue.
Aspect. Yeah. Okay. So and you said it well. That was right.
Did the best I could, right? Like, yeah. As far as much as I do now.
So I am a founder of a company called Better BioStatistics. We do statistical analyses for clinical trials. So basically, we know what the FDA needs to see in terms of safety and efficacy in order for the FDA to do their job and to approve or deny a new drug application. And it is in a very exciting time in that space. The world that we know today in terms of medicine is going to almost accelerate at a very rapid pace because of this thing called precision medicine, where we know a lot more about each individual's body and how they're going to respond. We can be a lot more precise with the medicines we give. And this really got me thinking recently about, what does tomorrow really look like, right? Like if we have this amazing technology that's coming online in the medicine space, what other areas are there where we're going to see improvements and accelerate? And I kind of actually stumbled when I started thinking about this. I kind of fell over my own feet because I started looking at the world that I inherited from my parents and what it meant to be able to afford a home and what it meant to have a social group and to
Right.
feel good about the world. And then I looked at my children and I thought about what world are they going to inherit from me? And I don't like I didn't like the trend line that I
Right.
was seeing. And I think a
Right.
lot of people resonate with this
Right.
because me and you were talking about it in front of the microwave the other day,
Yeah.
and we had 3 other people come
Which
join
is,
us,
yeah.
and and we're not trying to talk about politics. We're not trying to
No.
talk about anything that could be super dividing. Really, what we're trying to talk about is what is the underlying trajectory? What are the
Right.
underlying problems that we might be facing today? And what are some potential solutions that we can get
Yeah.
into? And what can we do at a local community level?
Right.
Because a lot of these problems are grand in
Right.
scale. These things are
Huge hills to climb.
right. So it's not like we're looking to change the world or anything like
Right.
that. We're really just looking to say, what can we do for our own immediate families and for our own immediate community
Right.
that might lead to a better tomorrow, as opposed to the trajectories that we might be on for some of these things like loneliness, like we spoke
Yeah.
about earlier, or like life expectancy.
Yeah.
When we know that we have all these amazing technologies coming online that should theoretically make our
Right.
world a better place, and for whatever reason, they seem to not be.
Right.
So I'd love for you to kind of walk us through what Better Tomorrow is going to be, what we're hoping to do with it, and what we're hoping that the community will come and join us in doing.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like you've got younger kids, 2 girls. I've got older-ish kids. I've got high schooler and one going soon to be in high school and stuff. So college is another thing we talked about. It's like, what does college look like in the next 4 to 10 years? Like it's the job search, the job hunt when you get out, and like for all the parents out there, all I hear is high school is the fastest. So I got a freshman. I'm not ready to just. It blows my mind to start thinking about her in college and then the next phase and the next phase. And like as we kind of just started spitballing around and just kind of gets into this sort of rabbit hole of like, man, what does the future look like for our children? And so we decided, what, other people think the same thing, so let's just get together. And like you said, maybe there's no solutions, maybe we can't fix any of this stuff, but I think that there's a ton of value in just discussing it and talking about it, getting in a room and just venting of sorts, right? Like just like and then, hey, I have the same thoughts, I have the same concerns, I have the same fears, right? And that's how we started, and a few other folks in the community here at Cocial, kind of around the water cooler, quote unquote, was the same thing. It was like, man, I don't know this, I don't know that. And like Bobbie said, we're not going political, we're not picking sides, we are just talking about a better tomorrow. And if there's anything we can do to move the needle in any direction, that's what we want to do. Talked about this too. Like, it's going to be messy. It's going to be messy in the fact, like, this is our first podcast. This is Cocial Convos' first series, A Better Tomorrow, right? So everything is just starting. And like, what's I think exciting is like, we don't know where it's going to go.
No idea.
But we know that deep down, we are passionate about the futures of us and our children. And we talked about, like, this isn't just for parents who have kids. This is for the millennials, the Gen Zers out there who are growing up in that are growing up in a world that we didn't grow up in. Yeah. And you guys have a lot to say, and your generation is amazing, and you are I think you want quality of life at a younger age more than any of us ever did, right? Like, you guys are starting to live your lives in your 20s as most people like strive for to get to in their 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Didn't realize they could.
Right, right? Like, you guys want to live life today, not like, well, I'm going to work and I'm going to go to this job and I'm going to work for 40 years and I'm retired, then maybe I'll live. Yeah. You guys are taking full advantage of life right now, so we want to hear from you, like, because you guys are in the trenches of this world today. We're living it vicariously through our children at different ages, and we see that. But so it's an open discussion to kind of just talk about what the future looks like for all of us.
Beautifully said. I really think that it is. So November 5th, what we're really hoping to do is, if you have some concerns around the trajectory of the world that we live in today, and you would love to just express those concerns, talk about them with your local community, and then we'll hopefully meander to what can we do either within our own immediate families or within our local community to support. Very light, very easy. And really the goal is to get to know our fellow community members and how they're thinking about these topics. Because I think really at the end of the day, the ownership of the world that we live in falls on our shoulders.
For sure.
We are in the all of us today are in the driver's seat. We can all stand up and say, I don't like this. I want a better tomorrow.
Right.
And here's what we can do. And that's all that we're trying to accomplish in this first one.
And it's a series. It's not a one and done type thing. Like the goal is to like, okay, let's all come, let's voice our concerns, let's voice our anxiety, all this stuff, and then we'll separate, we'll go away, and maybe we'll have some action items to be like, okay, well, we're all fearful of AI and how it's going to incorporate in our daily life, our jobs, our kids' futures, for an example. Then we can go away, deep dive, do some research on it, and come back. And maybe there's a group of 5 who really know AI and want to deep dive into it, and they can come back and they can present to all of us who are very green in that space.
Brilliant.
And it could be like, wow, okay, maybe this is going to be very advantageous to have AI in all this stuff. These are the things that's going to be great. These are the things that voice some concerns. But maybe just by talking about it, these concerns won't feel as heavy.
We'll learn
a lot about it. It won't be as much in the dark anymore. And I think take out the AI topic and insert another topic. And I think that's the goal of this series, is to kind of just keep chipping away at some things that we can hopefully, just like I said earlier, move the needle on just a little bit. Every little bit helps.
You got me excited.
That
was really well said.
It's fun. It's fun to,
if we can learn from each other and how each other views these things, we're going to be better off anyway, right? That alone is huge. So you have me very excited. Again, sincerely, thank you not only for setting up Cocial, but for continuing to grow Cocial and to now extend into Cocial Conversations. I can't wait to see what you do.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate the nudge and the support. It's a great community here. You just kind of, it almost seems a little bit feel the dreams-ish. Like if you feel it, they will come. And that's a cliche and stuff, but like, you just got to go all in on you, whoever you is. And I think that the right people come into your life for the right reasons at the right time. So it's been a pleasure having Bobbie here for almost a year, which is crazy. I feel like you've been here. Well, I mean, we've only been open for a year and a half. So I guess he was one of the OGs of Cocial, which is great. So we love having him here. We love watching his business grow, which has been leaps and bounds since he's joined. And then getting to know his family and stuff like that too. So we're super excited to kind of get this first series of Cocial Convos, A Better Tomorrow, off and running. So thanks again for listening today. Thanks again for being a part of the first episode of Cocial Convos series, Better Tomorrow, and more to come.
Awesome. See you soon.